Coming, we do have Ducktales Remastered with the runner Max Gentleman. If he's all ready to go, we can go over to that whenever he's ready. All right then.
Time starts as soon as I just select the difficulty, so 3, 2, 1, go. So basically this is Ducktales Remastered. The rich guy has somebody broken in to steal his money, and then the rest of the story is he wants more money. It's not that difficult. So basically the Beagle Boys have broke into McDuck's mansion and they're just trying to crack his safe. So we're just kind of going through all the defence system that the Beagle Boys have already cracked and just try to prevent any theft. The game is pretty standard. It is just basically jumping and learning how to attack. We have turned cutscenes off because it saves a lot of time. However, there are mandatory cutscenes that we cannot turn off, so we have to skip them manually. There is four forms of movement in this. So basically you have jump, you have jumping with a walking stick, you can swing the walking stick when there's an object next to you, and you can walk, and you can crouch, but crouch isn't really necessary for most of the game, so it's not so bad. The reason we're playing on easy is because we have access to invincibility coins and we only take half a heart of damage. Basically that means we can take damage and just get through areas quicker, and also the invincibility coins do get us through areas faster as well, so we can take advantage of walking over spikes and walking through bad guys, so it's not so bad. The game is kind of like sort of narrow, like narrow tunnel guided, but you can choose the levels in most orders that you would like. So there is, once I complete this level, you'll see the console that lets me choose which stage I would like. But we'll just go in regular order this time. What I do tend to do is go for the trickiest stage first, just to get it out of the way. But we're just going to go in general order this time.
There you are, sir.
One thing I like to explain as well is basically the game kind of sets you up for the final stage, which is the volcano. So all obstacles that you're going to come across tend to be part of the final stage. Oops. So like I said, there is some cutscenes that we do have to manually skip, but it only takes like a second or so. The only thing we can't really skip is the bonus stage, which means as we collect money throughout the game, if we get the digits number 7 in the 10,000 slot, it basically gives us a bonus level, and we can't avoid it. We have to take it, and it loads between loading another stage. So the only way to get rid of that is to collect more money and also just die as soon as the bonus level starts. In this stage we need to collect coins to open the temple, or open the way of the temple. So we're going to be taking some intentional damage just to kind of get through this undermine early area. We might actually die because I took a hit I didn't need to take. There is health we will pick up. I'm probably going to pick up the cake that's there just as a backup. Normally there is an ice cream cone I pick up on the way to the top, but we are quite low, so we should come up here. There we go.
Up I go.
So this area, basically, you don't really need to do anything. The helicopter just skips like all of it, which isn't too bad, but you can actually get through because you need all the coins, so it's not so bad. I think like one thing to mention as well is that even though we're doing this on easy category, extreme mode is the hardest. Extreme mode, well, it is the hardest, but it is the fastest. The world record's like 38 minutes something. Mostly because the boss fights are faster, so it saves a lot of time. But you don't have access to invincibility coins, and you take a full heart of damage when you take a hit, and you only have 3 lives. Whereas on easy mode you have, on easy mode you only take half a heart of damage, and you have invincibility coins, so it's not so bad. Hopefully this little guy is going to be my friend today. Yep, there we go. So that guy's completely RNG. He can spawn after that pillar, he can spawn before that pillar, he can spawn underneath it, but there is a chance to be able to jump on top of him while he's underneath it, which just basically saves time. We're good. Oops. Oh well. Okay, so the boss coming up's pretty standard. It's just like a statue's head that's kind of like dodge and jump on top of it, standard Mario type stuff. The pillars around the room do tend to rotate and stuff as well. You can actually hit the guy while you're behind him, so if you take a hit when you don't mean to, you can actually just hit him again, which is kind of handy if you're really good at timing it. I don't really know how to explain it, but I just know that you can do it. I think there's 4 cycles on this guy, and then you get the staff that you saw at the beginning, and really like the staff just doesn't really mean anything. It's just got a big ruby on it that Scrooge wants, so yeah. So should be one more cycle to go, and then we're going to go straight to Transylvania right after this. What you'll actually see is nephews getting a bit more involvement. Basically, they fall through a trapdoor in Transylvania, but you won't get to see the cutscene. And you have to go find them, and the Beagle Boys are all dressed up as ghosts. So while there is real ghosts in that stage, there's also fake ones, which are basically the Beagle Boys just try to give you a scare. But Scrooge is just too smart for that sort of stuff, so we don't have to worry about that. So we got that. So there is a key item you need to pick up in every stage, but you only really get them after you defeat the final boss, so it's not so bad. So there's the scepter, there's a coin, there is a diamond, and there's radioactive cheese, I think is the one on the moon, so it's not so bad. Oops. I'd probably say the level that's probably going to toss me up the most is the moon, mostly because when you get to Gizmotron, he follows you and he shoots random missiles towards enemies that are in front of you, and basically, as you would know, like going through this game, you tend to just go off of bad guys to keep moving forward. But Gizmotron, because his rockets are random, you can't tell which bad guy he's hitting, so there is points where you might actually die, just purely to a rocket hitting a bad guy as you're going to jump on top of him. So we kind of just want to set these ghosts up so that we don't have to actually dodge them, which isn't too bad. Oh. The bit. So I'm trying to look at chat while I'm going through the stages here, and it's the best stuff. I mean, if you're talking about the track for Transylvania on the remastered version, yeah, it's pretty good. I still prefer the Moon like over all of them, basic and remastered. But they're all really good. Even Himalayas is really good. It's got some really good guitar riffs in it, which is pretty good. So basically, yeah, we're going to try to rescue the nephews here before we can open a portal. You won't see the cutscene for the portal because I'm not going to go into that room until I've rescued all the nephews. I'm like messing up like really tiny jumps, but it's not the end of the world, so. Yeah, so there's these sort of mirrors that you've seen me jumping through. They just tend to send you to another mirror around the map. They do send you back the way, which is kind of cool, but you don't ever really want to go back the way. Unfortunately on this minecart area, which would have been handy if we could come back the way we came, it would save a lot of time and take us to the final boss after we get the last nephew, but we're going to have to go around the bottom floor again and come back up the way we did, because that mirror which brought us to outside is right next to the final portal we need to reach the boss in this stage. So.
Nearly lost my hat on that one. Nearly lost my hat on that one.
I think something that's quite good in this game as well is like most of the lines when Scrooge is talking to his nephews, it just shows how stingy he actually is, because they seem to ask for something, or he seems to tell them they're not getting something, which is pretty good, which is what I really love about the line at the end, but I'm not going to say any more about that.
Is there no end to this madness?
But yeah, in this game, I think most of the Ducktales characters that you've seen on the show are in it. So Mrs. Beagley, Launchpad, the Beagle Boys, Flinty, and they're all like super awesome. Count Ducktales in it as well. I can't remember. I can't remember the witch's name, but yeah. I saw the comment about he's lost his hat. I actually have his hat. I own his hat. Someone bought it for me at a con. So I actually have his hat. I wore it on the stream once. Taking a hit here isn't the end of the world either, because every rotation of the witch's fire attack, you tend to get a treasure chest, so you get an ice cream cone out of that. So she does like 4 different attacks. So you've got the fire up the way, fire horizontally. She'll also jump into a mirror, and there'll be a rotation of mirrors, and you have to hit the one that she's in. And also she turns into a vulture self, so it's not so bad. Once you hit her in the vulture mode though, she'll throw 3 blasts at you, and you basically just have to dodge it and hit her, and that's a cycle. You only need to do the cycle 3 times, so it's not so bad. Magica Dispel, love it. Oops. Tried to go for a small jump there, but I messed up. There's like some really tight jumps in this that I just really struggle to do. One's on the moon, one is on mines. In fact, there's two on mines, and there's one in Himalayas. Himalayas isn't as hard as the other ones, but it doesn't lose you a lot of time if you miss them, so it's not so bad. Although the piranha plants that you saw in the Amazon, there's a really tight jump on African mines where you need to jump over it, and if it grabs you, you basically have to wait till it spits you out. So we probably won't try that one unless I'm feeling super confident. So while we're currently avoiding money as much as we can, we just need to keep an eye on it, because even like the littlest amount of gems can put us onto 70k, and that's not what we want. The bonus level, when I go to skip the helicopter drop off, you'll know you have a bonus level when you can't skip it, because the helicopter will be different, and we don't want that. There is one jump here where a chest can actually just block your way. Which is right here. So that chest, if I jump earlier, I have to then go back round and go over the top of the chest. So basically we need to pick up the part for the lift, which isn't really a factor in regards to the end level as an obstacle, but in Himalayas you can't actually complete the stage until you pick up all the parts for the plane, because the plane's crashed. So you need to find 3 parts, but we'll get to that one when we're on Himalayas. I've actually never went right there, because I watched a run of this game before I actually bought it. So I don't actually know what's to the right over there. Oops, messed up. So basically the story of this level is there are people that live in the mines, and while they are doing their games and having fun, it's causing earthquakes and issues for the miners. So basically Scrooge is going down to sort it out, because it's his mines. It's where he makes money. So
Make way.
can the runner speak up? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm just like super nervous.
Didn't get rich by being foolish. Oh, no, you don't.
So the rest of the mines for the moment is basically just Poe going through the water. The good thing is that there's actual bubbles to tell you where the bad guys are. You're right.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, fire away.
We have a $5 anonymous donation. Thank you very much for that. And we also have a $50 anonymous donation, both with no comments. Thank you very much.
It's awesome. Thank you so much for those donations, guys. So we are currently on 1 heart. There isn't really anywhere we can pick up health. So we are going to take an intentional death. Come on, in fact, maybe an ice cream on this main cart. I think there's an ice cream on everyone. So there we go. So there is intentional damage that I'm going to need to take. So that's quite handy that we get. Oh, we get 2. Sweet. In my practice run, I didn't actually practice mines. Once you complete the game, you can actually just go back to any level and select it, and then once you're done, it takes you back to the computer panel, which is in Scrooge's office. So it's quite handy that you can do that, but I didn't actually practice mines, so it's not so bad. Yeah, so this section is just basically Poe going through lots of bad guys, nothing difficult. this is where the hard jump is, so... So basically you can take time, kill a block, hit it with a block, or you can just attempt to jump, but the jump is possible, but I don't actually know what saves time more, getting hit after the jump or just using the block to kill the plant, so... So basically this guy has 3 attacks. One is this spinny mouth thing which he does in every cycle. So when you hit him he basically takes a huff and tries to hit you. Then he blew his horn, so orange's rocks fall from the ceiling, and blue is he'll summon his wee pals to basically roll across the screen. And that's pretty much it for that fight, so it's not so bad. But story-wise, they just generally tend to agree to stop playing their games because they don't like rubies and diamonds and crystals. They think they're horrible rocks, so they don't actually want them in the mines. So. So we get one more to go after this. And then we'll be moving on to Himalayas. So money-wise, I'm still trying to push myself over the 70k per stage, just so that I don't miscount. So yeah. So basically, the red ones are 100k, the big yellow ones or big gold ones, whatever's your preference, is 10k, and the small ones are 200, I think, a piece. So we try and pick up as many as the big yellow ones as possible if we think we're close. So in this stage, basically, the plane's broken down and we need to go find all the pieces. There is a cutscene here that we won't see, but there's normally a piece there, so we get a piece for free just by skipping the cutscene, which is kind of cool. And the other 2 rabbits have stole them, so we need to go kill some rabbits, sadly. Nice. There is some damage boost, but the spiders are really unpredictable, so it's kind of hard to get them consistently. So there is one here, but we need this to save some time. So we are going to take an intentional death because it saves us time about having to come back through this area. There is 2 ways you can do it. You can die by taking damage, or you can fall down this hole here. We're probably going to just fall down the hole. Oh, this rabbit's just... There we go. So we have to rescue Bubba, who is the cave duck, caveman duck, cave duck. I don't know how you want to describe him. But basically we can't break these blocks sideways. If we hit them, we just kind of hurt ourselves. So we need to kind of let Bubba do that, and we need to wait for that to happen. However, if we let bunnies just run about, Bubba gets distracted, and he actually starts chasing after them. So we can't let bunnies roam free, sadly. So there is one more piece we need to pick up, which will be in the next section. Let go of the rope. How's this game's difficulty? Well, this is on easy just now, and it is... I'd say it's pretty easy, but it's just getting used to what you can and can't do most of the time.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, of course.
Great. We have a $5 donation from Tiny Tim. Hi all. Had to donate for Max and his amazing Ducktales run. Thanks to everyone in attendance for a great weekend. Cheers.
Thanks, Tim. Okay. So now we're at war with Flinty. He'll fire one of two things. He'll fire a beagle or he'll fire a bomb. Ideally we want bombs as quick and as soon as possible, but sadly I've never had all bombs in a row, so we just gotta be patient with this one. Oh my goodness.
Turn a profit on this, McDuck. Hurry, you fools! He's catching up.
Yeah.
We have a $20 donation from Murray John, GT Omega John, saying, could see Big Chaz and McBlood Hoop running on here. Sadly, I couldn't make it to the event, but I'll be sure to go to the next. We also have a $50 donation from Murtag. Thanks for having me, UKSG. It's been super fun putting this towards whatever donation incentive Max Gentleman wants. The Ducktail run is going pretty fast. Mr. Max Gentleman, what is your donation incentive?
For, like, where to put the money? Because I don't have one for Ducktales, so...
Well, where do you like to put that in?
Can I get it to the any % on Battle Block?
Any % on Battle Block.
Thank you so much for that donation as well, and John, thanks so much, man. Basically, I'll quickly explain this fight quite quickly. The RNG can go in your favour quite quickly, so the boulders that you drop, that she drops, sorry, will either be really close to the wall or really far away from the wall. Ideally, you want them really far away from the wall, because it means we can hit the furthest away ice block from yourself, which means you don't need to wait, and whenever you're running a game you don't really want to wait for anything, but unfortunately we've got the really close ones, so we can cry about that later. In this last cycle though, there is only one ice block, but thankfully the only attacks that she has is this big mega stomp where we can't sit in the ground. Regular stomps we can be on the ground, and when she punches the wall when she takes a huff, so. So we're now going on to the best stage in the game, best track in the game, and hope that Gizmo-chan is actually nice to me. So basically, we're going to the moon, and I can't even remember his name. Oh, that's kind of annoying me. Basically, we have to pick up all the pieces of Gizmo-chan and save your friend, but because the cutscene's been skipped, your friend's automatically saved, which saves... Well, it doesn't really save any time because we still need to push the big red shiny button anyway, but we do need to pick up all the pieces of the suit regardless, so it's not so bad. But the cutscene that comes in is we do need to wait for this spaceship to fly in, so that saves an absolute ton of time. These spikes, however, are probably the biggest nuisance in the game. So.
Well, I have some great news for everybody. We have met the showcase for true any % in Battle Block Theater. We've raised $210 out of the $150 that we needed. And also, while on the subdeck of Battle Block, we have the leader of the color choice is currently blue, standing at $15. white at 5. And coming up in third is purple with a measly $1. So that is still going on at the minute. So please donate to that for the color of your choice.
So as far as Moon goes, the big boss is a giant rat who eats the radioactive cheese, and for some reason, if you oh that's fine, we managed to not die. But for some reason, when you beat him, the cheese is still intact, so it's not so bad. But yeah, I'm just trying to like not think about Gizmotron right now, but you'll see what I mean. But yeah, a lot of intentional damage and easy mode is just recommended because you can just walk through bad guys rather than having to wait. In extreme difficulty it can be not worth it because you take a lot more damage and you just essentially die faster and you have capped amount of lives, so. It's a bad jump on my end. Cool, so we've got all the pieces, so now we have to go all the way back to the ship where our friend that we technically saved is waiting for us to put it together, so it's not so bad. The reason we do need to do Gizmotron is he opens the next area, which is basically the caves of the moon. What's quite funny, and I'll say it because for anyone who watches my stream, I play on a really old monitor and I play on a really low resolution, and basically I hard lock about 70% of the times I get to Gizmotron. So I'm quite chuffed that I can just like relax. There is two main areas that this game does tend to hardlock based on what version of Windows you're playing or what graphics card you have, and one is Gizmotron and the other one is in the final boss at Count Duckula when the curtains retract, but we don't have to worry about both of those, so we're fine. Anyone who hasn't watched any of the Ducktales speedrunning stuff, I would definitely recommend watching the world record video for the any % category, like the non-glitchless one, because the run is just absolutely insane. There's a zip, well, it's not really a zip, it's kind of like out of bounds on African Mines, where he makes the blocks to the next area disappear just by kind of stepping off screen, and then he basically climbs back into that area where the boxes are still there, so the game doesn't really know where to put him, and he can just kind of walk off screen until the end of that area, so it kind of saves like a lot of time. Also, something that I think is quite hilarious in this is I'm technically standing on this platform, but I'm not, which is weird. So it's like I'm standing on it, but I can't bounce on it or anything, which means it's not there. So. Oops. So there is a strat that I should be doing, but I'm too scared just now because I've been trying a lot of extreme mode recently. So I'm just not going for it. And it's basically you can hit the rat twice in one cycle depending on what his pattern is. So for example, when the rat drops into the middle and decides to jump onto the platform, you can technically hit him twice. But when he's moving left to right, you can only really hit him once, so.
We have a $20 anonymous donation. Just donate and see my favorite color for Battle Block Theater, Kappa. We also have a $5 donation from Edenel, I think that's pronounced as, saying, let's go for 1K. And speaking of 1K, we are only $19 away from reaching 1K, so please, everybody in chat, would you be ever so kind to help us reach 1K donations? Thank you very much.
Thank you for those donations. 1K is the dream, guys. So now we're going to Mount Vesuvius, which, as I said, is most of the obstacles in the other stages are technically a build-up for this stage. So we're going to take a lot of intentional damage. Bats are not our friends. These guys are kind of cool, but we'll just take intentional damage to dodge most of them. So I will be stopping just to kind of play a safety. Because there's lots of areas with spikes, so the bats just get in the way. But there is a minecart area coming up, so we're quite lucky in that sense to. Oh my goodness! Oh, there is a minecart area coming up, so we could pick up health from that.
And with that, we have a $19 donation, putting us to 1K from Mr. Tiny Tim. $19, you say, here you go, cheers all. Thank you very much, Tiny Tim.
Thanks, Tim. We're just going to take a death here.
Just not as old as you.
Thanks, Tim, you are awesome, bro. So I just took an intentional death, just mostly because I'm on half a heart, and you almost always get hit by this bat. So it's better to just be safe and go back to that start of that room than wait to the end of the room and take the hit. So it's not so bad. There is a room coming up with rolling boulders, and no matter what amount of health you're on, you die if you get hit by them. So it's not so bad. I seriously doubt I'll PB. My current record is 40 minutes and 31 seconds, which was the world record until 2 weeks ago, where a guy knocked almost 2 minutes off my time playing on extreme mode. So I'm kind of excited to play extreme mode more. But for now we're just sticking to easy for Okay, so not got long now, and then we need to fight Count Ducktales. He's kind of easy, but it depends on what RNG you get, because you can only hit him if you bounce off of bats, which means you need to time jumps onto bats, etc. Also, the type of attacks you can get are based on what I can't remember the witch's name again, but she throws magic powder into a pot behind, like off screen, like in the background, sorry, and based on the colour of that magic powder is based on what attack you'll get. Ideally we want green all the time, because it's just a dragon that blows fire, and the fire's the easiest thing in the world to dodge. We don't care about taking damage here at all, to be honest, because most things are pretty much instant death here, so okay.
Let's go. I'm a busy duck.
Washed up has-beens first, Mc...
Interfering old bat. I command you.
So we all won green, so that's a
Worse
plus.
than his bite.
Yep, so red is bats and yellow's giant Count Ducktales. So for some reason when he's giant, instead of just squashing you, he just tries to bite you when he's giant, which makes completely no sense, but we just gotta go with it. You can basically dodge giant oops. On easy mode it actually waits a little time for you, so you can actually get away with hesitating and panicking. Again, I don't play on such a nice monitor, so I can see the bats clearly here, On my computer, I can't.
Be careful. Cauldron is very expensive.
Okay. So you can go on top of his beak, but the hitbox is weird for the beak, so if you jump near his I'm just going to call them nostrils. If you jump near his nostrils, the actual area where the nostrils are hitboxes, but the rest of it's kind of not. I need to... Okay. They're called nerves, thanks for that. Okay, so we get 2 more hits to go. Oh, we got Dragon again, nice. Sadly we didn't get a health drop, which is kind of what we really want, to be honest. Oh nice, right, there we go. So we only need to hit him once more. Right after the boss fight there's an escape sequence, because for any game when you defeat a final boss you just need to escape some sort of volcano or planet or whatever. Which I'm really not excited for. Because there's a lot of falling chains that I can't stay on for very long, so we just gotta hope for that to be nice to us as well. And there's okay, so time will be coming up basically when I reach the very last platform on this escape. So there's 2 parts to this, so I need to beat Flinty to the first bit of treasure here, which is the easiest thing in the world. But the escape sequence after that, we basically need to get to the point where Launchpad can get us on the helicopter. So when we reach that final platform, that'll be time. Oh, sugar. Okay, so time's coming up. Time. Oh. And that's Ducktales in a nutshell. It's a fun game, good soundtrack, cheap, and it's easy. So yeah.
It was real swelly to give
and like I said before, most of the lines in the game just remind you how stingy Scrooge McDuck is, and the best line of the game's coming up. So I'll just leave it at that. Thanks very much.
Me back in, say 3 to 5 years. With interest, of course.
I'll get you for this, McDuck. Mark my words.
Now, there's a sight I never got tired of. Come on, lads. Let's head to the ice cream shop.